Good evening and welcome to Bent TV. Thank you for joining us. We begin tonight with an extended interview with Grace Lee, who recently completed her master's thesis, Coming Out of the Closet, Stresses and Coping Mechanisms Associated with Coming Out as Transgender in Adulthood. The thesis is a study examining the lives of 8 transgender women and how they have managed before, during and after coming out to their families. And then we finish tonight returning to Midsumma Carnival 2016 for the last time, where we hear from the people attending on the day the differing reasons that they support Carnival.
Hi, welcome to Bent TV. I'm Andy McNamara. Tonight we're talking about a topic that has some mental health implications, so some people might want to take that as a warning and turn off, but if you don't, I'd like to welcome Grace Lee to the show. Welcome, Grace. You are a member of Transgender Victoria. Maybe you can tell us what that is to start.
Absolutely, Andy. It's good to be here. Transgender Victoria is a long-established organisation that's been based here in Melbourne since 1999 and was really set up to advocate and educate and improve awareness around transgender issues. In other words, to support the transgender community and to communicate with the broader community across a range of sort of issues and ideas, and in particular, you know, around advocating and helping shape legislation, as well as educating corporates and even the Victoria Police, for example.
So Transgender Victoria wasn't started by the government, it was started privately,
No,
but it's become quite closely involved with the government now.
Look, we have representation now on a number of sorts of government panels, so that's really important that we've actually got quite close relationships now with the state government ministers around health and human services and equality.
Right.
So that's given us, we've established a long line of credibility, I think, in terms of being able to do our best to represent the transgender individuals within sort of Victoria.
Terrific. Now, let's actually jump to the topic we're here to talk about.
Love to.
You have just written your thesis.
That's right,
part
a master's.
Of your master's.
Yeah, I'm doing a master's in counselling and psychotherapy at the Cairn Miller Institute, which is a postgrad college that specialises in psychology in Camberwell. And I've been there for 3 years now, so I'm just kind of wrapping up my studies for the master's. And part of that study required me to produce, do a bit of research, and this is the result of a book.
You've worked hard for it, obviously.
It's, you know, it's got a fair bit of writing in there, a lot of words.
What's it about?
Okay, so well, it's called Coming Out of the Closet, Stressors and Coping Mechanisms Associated with Coming Out as Transgender in Adulthood. So what I've done is to sort of look at the experiences of actually older trans women, so people a bit like myself.
So trans women, so people who've transitioned from being identified as male to living as female?
Yes.
Can you express that maybe better than I've possibly done?
Well, yes, I mean, it's people who felt that they have a diverse, like, if you like, gender identity. So they were all assigned male at birth.
Yep.
But through their lives, they've perhaps felt that they were in some way different. They felt they've identified more with women and with being female, and they've now reached the point in their lives where they've sort of come out. So, what's I suppose interesting about this is that we've seen a lot of publicity, a lot of positive media in the last few years around people who are transgender. We've seen Caitlyn Jenner, we've seen the Wachowski sisters, and so on, so more people are becoming much more aware of what it is to be transgender, and that perhaps it's it's more acceptable to be open about it. So
in your study, the people who've transitioned in adulthood, what ages have the people in your study transitioned at?
Look, it varied. In this study, they went from about 40 years through to 77.
Wow. So you said in adulthood, but it's not 20-year-olds. It's really mature.
No, it's mature
adults.
people. And I think what was interesting for me there was one. It's I'm a mature adult as well.
Right.
So it was kind of exploring how did these people really cope with the sense of being different in the earlier parts of their life. Many of them, they haven't come out, except in later life. So they went to school. Most of them got married. They've got families, and somehow they didn't just one day wake up a couple of weeks ago and think I'm transgender. And prior to probably in the last few years, they wouldn't have actually had a language to describe what they were.
No, but they've known
No,
something's going on or something's wrong or different for 25 or 30
Yeah,
years.
well, I mean, what I found was there's probably sort of four main sort of themes, and the first one is having that sense of difference, feeling that you're different from the other guys, you know, and it may be that they just didn't want to, when they were at school, they didn't want to play with boys, they wanted to play with girls, that some of them cross-dressed from quite an early age, but they all had some kind of sense that they were different. And initially that was sort of good, except they very quickly learned that being different is not a good thing. Like it's frowned upon, especially when it comes to gender behaviours.
Yes.
So all of these people then kind of hid. So they kind of went into the closet. They didn't tell others about how they felt. And they, as they grew older, and for example, most of them would cross-dress. That was all done in secret.
Yes.
Then we tended to go, I've seen what then tends to happen is that people sort of kind of get on with their lives in one form or another. So as I said, they went to, they go to high school, they get jobs, and they'd sort of continue to hide, very often by being actually, quite masculine. It's very interesting that quite a few of the participants in this study took up martial arts.
Wow.
They took up fighting sports.
Wow.
They took up motorsport. They took up skydiving. Wow. They did all the risk-taking, macho kind of stuff.
The ultra male sort of things. Yeah.
Which was very much a way of them coping and trying to sort of, continue to disguise this sort of feeling that actually for most of them would generate shame. So there was a lot of, fear and shame in the earlier years, which they then suppressed through trying to cover those behaviours up.
I'm guessing the next step is the coming out, and it must be so hard to come out when you've built the career and the family and the, to suddenly say, I've been misleading the people I know and the people I love for 40 years and haven't been able to be honest.
Yeah, that's a critical element, I think. And for people, there were sort of different approaches to. They obviously became aware, probably in a lot of cases now through the internet, for example. So they became aware that there were other people around like them, and perhaps they weren't quite so unusual. And they started to find some sort of language to describe themselves, rather than being perhaps, a transvestite or a cross-dresser. They started to understand what transgender was, and that the fact that they could have a gender identity,
and that they're not a deviant, which was probably all the everything
absolutely,
they brought up,
which is all part of that shame.
This is an awesome discussion and riveting, but we have to stop for a short interruption. I'm speaking with Grace Lee. I'm Andy McNamara. You're on Ben TV. We'll be back soon. Welcome to Bent TV. I'm Andy McNamara and I'm continuing my discussion with Grace Lee. We are speaking about Grace's thesis, which is about people who come out in their mature years as transgender.
Yeah, look, we found some very interesting things. I mean, as part of that sort of hiding, a lot of people actually, hid clothes in various parts of their houses. Sheds and garages are very common places for people to hide their clothes, the stash.
These are, just going to reiterate, people identified as male at birth, but ultimately realise that they're female, maybe at teenage years, but then they've actually come out to the world between the ages of 40 and 70, much later.
That's right. And they've been living, fairly conventional lives. In fact, very successful conventional lives in many cases.
Careers, marriages, families, all sorts of hetero, super male pursuits.
They're looking completely sort of blending into the rest of the community. But as one of my sort of participants said, I had to lie to people I love. What else do? You're just in this tangled web of emotions that just screws you up, screws your life up so badly because it is so wrong. And you perpetuate the lie through your whole life, and eventually your life becomes a lie.
Wow.
So sometimes people get pretty down. I mean, they are living a sort of very false sort of life, and they're trying to manage their way of getting through this.
Someone said to me, there is no emotion stronger than shame.
It is a very powerful emotion, and it kind of drives people to all sorts of behaviours. And it is, it's seeing a fundamental failing in yourself, which is very unfortunate, very frightening, and can make people feel quite ill. But people then started to realise, that as they found out more about transgender issues and identities.
Thank heavens for the internet.
Many of them, that's right. Many of them actually sort of started to plan how to come out.
Wow.
Which was good, because what I found was that there was kind of two sorts of approaches. People either planned or they didn't plan. The ones who kind of blurted it out very often didn't have such a good outcome.
At Christmas lunch
but
or
it's
something.
so, yeah, it can be so emotional. You know, and it's sort of like, you know, there's a quote here, I got to the stage where I didn't want to be male. I just wanted to dress more and more and more. The need was overpowering and I didn't really know what to do. And I said, I've got to do something. And this person then told their wife, and they had a very sympathetic response, which was excellent. Others have really thought it through, and I think this is the important thing. There's some learnings that we're getting from this sort of research, and that is that some people actually sat down and really thought about, how am I going to tell people, what language am I going to use, who am I going to tell first? So it might be brothers and sisters, for example, or parents if the parents are still alive, and obviously partners. And how are they going to do that? Are they going to send them an email, going to write them a letter? Are they going to sit them down? Do they shock them? Do they walk into the room in a dress and say, oh, by the way, I'm trans? Some ways are better than others, and the ones where it's planned and where it's perhaps a little bit more subtle and gives people time to kind of absorb the story, but also involves the emotion. It's important, you know, many people did find that when they told somebody about it, about themselves, they got a very sympathetic response.
Wow, it's an incredibly hard thing for a partner to comprehend in any way. If they, I mean, some may have had an inkling, but some would have had no idea.
Most had no idea at all.
Wow.
As a rule, you know, the hiding was so good.
So yeah.
Or, you know, some people might have come out a little bit to begin with, and they would do it kind of quite subtly, like, oh, sometimes I like to wear women's clothes, and then it would be kind of like played as a bit of a bit of fun.
Yep.
But then later on, it would have to come out that actually it's more than that. This is how I sense my own identity. And when people do finally get to that point of coming out to their family and friends, I mean, early in their lives, it was filled with shame. Certainly around the time of coming out, there's a lot of fear of rejection, fear of, you know, being ostracised within the family and the community. And then once they come out, there is this pride that really starts to show.
They're excited to be a transgender person.
Yeah. You know,
help others and tell the world.
That's right. And they sort of say, you know, well, life is too short. Why didn't I do this 20 years ago? I'm so keen to be part of everything. One thing my partner noticed is that I'm much happier as a person.
Yep.
You know, so some really positive statements. And one of my other people said, you know, my being trans, I am whatever, and proud of it. My coming out to the world essentially means saying, take it or leave it, here I am.
Yep.
So we've gone from people who were, you know, scared, frightened, humiliated, shamed, hiding, and now they're saying, you know, kind of, here I am, this is it now, I've found myself, and I can live with that, and the rest of the community can try to do that as well.
Fantastic. And I guess, yeah, it's the same for gay people, obviously, too. I think just a lot of them, the eternal question is, why didn't I do it earlier? Like, I went along with it for so long.
Well, that's right.
So do you think there's been a generation of trans people who have come out sort of often after their working career, and now we're getting a group of trans people who are starting to come out before their working career at school and university and early on?
Absolutely.
But there was almost nothing in between. It's really gone from
Yeah, I think it's
50s
because
to 20s.
we've seen, you know, I mean, okay, there was some sort of, you know, there were a few famous people, you know, back in the sort of 60s and 70s with Christine Jorgensen and April Ashley and Jan Morris, but they were sort of like big superstars of, and they were the, you know, the classic, you know, sort of transsexual. And I suppose, you know, they obviously had the support and the money and the interest in them, and it wasn't something attainable for most people, or even to know if they identified like that.
No.
And I think we kind of, you know, do keep making the assumption that there are just two genders, and I think what we're seeing very clearly these days is that, you know, gender's very fluid. People can, you know, have quite a diverse expression around their own gender. Not everybody, you know, wants necessarily to be one or the other.
True.
They might be neither, or they might be a combination of several kind of gender expressions. So, you know, I think that's becoming more apparent, and especially amongst young people today.
Yes.
You know, the surveys that have been done recently show young people are much more sort of free and easy about what their gender expression is, and that's got to be very healthy.
Yes, and even some who have no inkling that they're, like, some of them might be clear that their gender's one or the other, but why not celebrate different genders and dress certain way? Like, it's all fluid and relaxed and open. And and it seems so logical and sensible when you think, what was all that stigma that has gone on?
Absolutely. You know, the fact that we just have these such rigid rules, but, you know, it is a reality of life, unfortunately, that for many people, you know, gender is almost immutable.
Yes.
And for, you know, someone like me, they will find very confronting, simply because I do not fit the mould. I don't fit in that box or that box.
Grace, tell us, what are you doing with your thesis? What are you doing after your thesis? What value is this going to be to the world?
Okay, well, I think we've got to, you know, this is a good sort of, you know, expression of what it's like to be trans, what it's like to be an older trans person in Australia.
Totally.
So, I mean, I'm a counsellor and I work
Great.
with trans and gender diverse people a lot, and I know that it's hard to find counsellors who understand the intricacies of this. So, amongst other things, I'm hoping that this piece of work will help, you know, counsellors and psychologists understand something of the experience of being trans, and that will help them provide the therapy that's most appropriate.
And I'm sure you've learned a lot doing it, and it'll make you a better
massively.
counsellor.
Yeah,
which is fantastic.
Absolutely.
Grace, thanks so much for coming on Bent TV tonight. I am Andy McNamara. We'll see you next time.
Thank you for staying with Bent TV. Please visit our website, Twitter, YouTube channel and Facebook to find the different ways you can support Bent TV, provide feedback and become involved in supporting Bent TV. Back after this break.
I'm Jess and I'm here today down at the Midsumma Carnival. It's the start of the Midsumma Festival and it's going to be so exciting. So let's go and see who we can go and chat to.
Hi, I'm Gabriel Walton. I am what you would call a long-term socialite of Melbourne. I'm here to say happy Midsummer and straight acting is not out. Okay?
My name's Lucy Furr and I'm here, it's my first ever carnival because I've just moved down from Sydney and I'm actually here to promote my event Drag Nation, which will be closing the Midsumma Festival.
I'm at the Midsumma Festival at Alexandra Gardens.
Okay, so my name is Zainul. I'm originally from Indonesia, but I've been in Melbourne for 2 years. I've been here, living here, working here, loving it. So, like today, I'm a volunteer for Midsumma. I've been volunteer for 3 years. So, and I'm just here to make everybody experience at Midsumma to be a really good experience. So, if you guys need help, just come around and see me, tap my shoulder. I'll be making a few rounds.
So, my name is Colin. I'm just here with a few friends and just hanging out.
I'm James. I'm doing the same thing, just seeing what it's like.
I'm going to be at my work stall, so at the Star Observer next door. But otherwise, yeah, just walking around, meeting new people, and yeah, just having a fun time.
This is my 5th Midsumma now, and I thought it was a lovely day to come out. It's really hot, but it's lots of fun. I love Midsumma every year. It's good.
I hold my head up high and you see me, somebody new. I'm not that chained up little bus and still in love with you. I've got all my love to give, I will survive. I will survive. Hey, hey.
Well, it's my first Midsumma Carnival, so, you know, eating in all of the sights and sounds and the beautiful weather.
Hello, I'm Luke Gallagher, and it's my absolute pleasure and joy to be back speaking to Bent TV, because I was a part of Bent TV some 15, 16 years ago. I used to host a show called Hellbent, and I was on the panel of Squeal for many seasons, and it was always such a joy and such an incredible honour to be part of community TV, to be representing this fabulous wider community of ours, the queer community and beyond, and to be able to speak and to have fun with the people of Melbourne and Geelong and Greater Melbourne. So it's a joy to be here to say hello and to say congratulations to Bent TV for still being here after all these years. What an achievement, what an effort, and let's hope it's here for many years to come. Congratulations, and I love you, Bent TV.
Hello, my name is Very Greer Impressive. Why I'm here is because it's Carnival, and to show people that they really should take the name of the Carnival in the festival actually seriously. Most people don't, and they've come dressed in shorts and a t-shirt, whereas me, I've decided to dress appropriately.
I love it. It's just beautiful. Happy people, sunshine, and just open people. It's wonderful.
Oh, I love the carnival. It's my favourite part.
Oh, well, look, I've just come round to highlight a message that, you know, we live life, we are free, we don't have to live in guilt and stigma and shame for who we are. We should always be proud of who we are. And I've just come to add a little bit of colour to the carnival today, but it is hot, darling, so I'm not sure how long I'll last in here.
Well, I'm here from Midsumma, and I have a friend who writes for Star Observer, which is right next door, like it's a newspaper. So yeah, just hanging around.
Fantastic. Haven't been here that long, but there's already lots to see and a lot more to see.
Cassie and Lexi, getting lots of lollies. I've had 2 lollipops. Well, I have another one in my mum's bag, and I've been eating fruit tingles. We're just going around and getting stuff, which is for free, because we're saving our money.
I'm just here at Midsumma Carnival, just chilling out before we go on the main stage.
I was singing with MGLC earlier on the main stage, and then helping out at the stand, and now I'm just having a wander around before I join my friends for a picnic.
Great, really chilled vibe, you know, variety of, you know, people and diversity and amazing organisations in Melbourne. So I'm new to Melbourne, so it's great to see everything that Melbourne has to offer.
I'm here to meet new friends and also old friends, so yeah, just enjoying the day together with a bunch of people, and it's great weather today, so it's perfect.
Just relaxing in the sun, basically, yeah. Quite hot now, but you know, hopefully get a bit cooler later.
Just walking around, sweating, enjoying the day. Apart from that, yeah, it's good. It's a great turnout.
Hi everyone, my name is Scott Smale, and I got to admit Midsumma is an excellent opportunity to learn about the diverse array of subcultures within the LGBT community. I absolutely love signing various petitions. It's so much fun, and so many organisations are so enthusiastic and really welcoming and nice. Thanks.
Just here supporting the community, having a good time.
I've got my Manhunt fan and my free Subway sauna water, and hopefully that'll keep me cool enough, yeah.
I am just here to enjoy the sunshine and to be in a fabulous rainbow queer-friendly space.
We're here because we come every year and we want to see the dogs and support our friends.
And have fun.
And have fun.
It is. It's an important time of year that we get to celebrate and also connect with other people, like-minded people, and also to maybe push different agendas. I noticed a few different political stalls and so on, so it's important to create a diverse community, whether that's within our own community or in the wider community.
We're here to...
Because we're raging homosexuals. Just give us your names and tell us why you're here.
Tara, Jackie.
Tara and Jackie, you guys got amazing headbands.
Thank you.
Why are you here at Midsumma today?
First day out, I guess? Yeah.
That's all the time we have for tonight. Thank you for watching. My name is Gavin Henderson. Please visit our website, YouTube channel, Facebook to keep in contact and support Bent TV.